Hey, what's going on, everyone? Vega here for SerpentX Tech, and I got a very special video for you today. I went around asking some of your favorite crypto mining content creators, how have they adapted to the current mining conditions here in 2025? We know that GPU mining profitability has been crap, and a lot of people have adjusted in different ways. So we want to hear from our favorite content creators. I didn't get all of them, but some of them. See how they have adapted, as well as leave you with some of my own thoughts later on in the video. But I want to hear from you down in the comment section below. How have you adapted to the current mining conditions in 2025? Sound off. Now let's hear from some of your favorites.
So this is a really good question. And honestly, I could create a 30-minute long dedicated video to just this topic of just how I've adjusted over the last few months. I mean, we're only a few months into 2025, but the dynamic in the landscape of crypto mining has really changed a lot. For me specifically, I was holding on to a rig of 12 3070s over the last few months, and well, I've kind of decided to part ways with those. I was holding out on those, like, oh, I'm going to totally spec mine with those, and those are some of the first things that I'm going to liquidate. GPU mining right now, just, I don't know that it'll ever recover. And I know that's not the news that people want to hear, the thought that people want to hear, but it's the reality, and it does hurt. So I don't know that that's ever going to come back. And so for me, GPUs are actually fetching a pretty good price right now, especially for 3070s. I was just taking a look on eBay and like $350 possibly. So there's some really good potential there. But where do we go from here? Where have I gone from here over the last few months? Well, I've continued to grow on the deep inside. I was kind of thinking through this before hitting the record button, that I'm continuing to expand on the deep inside, almost bringing in like one deep in miner a month at this point. And a lot of them, the ones I've been focusing on, is testnet. I'm looking for projects that are in testnet. I'm not looking for pre-established projects that launched over a year ago that are already in full mainnet. Like, I have a huge interest in testnet, spending a few $100s, which is nice about DeepIn, spending a few $100s and going ahead and getting into that project. Your watts are most of the time under 40 watts for most of these DeepIn projects, if not 10 watts, and earning that testnet token early. I am eager to see. I got my hands in a number of different DeepIn projects that when they go to mainnet, which is mostly scheduled for 2025, looking to see where that goes. A lot of these coins pump really heavily on the day of mainnet, and I'm going to take my profits 100%. I think the mindset too, going on that note, has changed for me, where like taking profits is something I'm constantly looking at. Whereas in the past, it's like, oh, I'm going to hodl till it hits the all-time high, or I'm going to hodl till it 10x's. Those days are gone for me. I'm really looking at, oh, I can double or triple my investment. I'm going to go ahead and chase that, and we're going to go that direction and take some profits. I'm definitely not liquidating entirely. Outside of that, ASICs over the last few months in 2025, I've expanded my ASIC mining pretty significantly, really focusing on script mining, and that's been really successful, especially in December, January, and early February. Right now, the market, we're in, when I'm recording this, early March, mid-March actually. I think the video is going to drop in April, but who knows what the future looks like. So hello, future April people watching. Hopefully the market has rebounded. I did go ahead and pick up some lithium miners, AL3s. Those haven't been doing as hot. Maybe they'll rebound as well. So definitely continue to expand in that regard. I think finally, I've had a lot of fun with home miners, slowly getting more and more into more home miners here from my home mining shed. I do have the ASIC shed, which is at my electrician's house. But yeah, just tinkering around. I'm finding a lot of new people coming into the space, and in some of these small home miners that allow people to feel like they're participating, especially for Bitcoin and solo Bitcoin. Man, I've been nabbing a bunch of these solo Bitcoin miners left and right, and had a lot of fun with them. And remember that word fun? Remember that word? We constantly focus on profit or ROI. And for me right now, I'm having fun with those projects. Imagine that. And I think a lot of people stepping into the space, they're not looking to get rich. Half of them aren't even looking to turn a profit. They're just like, hey, I want to be involved in Bitcoin. What does that look like? And solo mining with Bitcoin has been a real peak for people's interest. I dabbled in just recently into cell phone mining with the cell hasher. That's super cool. I've never jumped in to cell phone mining before. Never even really thought about it. Was very hesitant and intimidated, but I'm finding myself in 2025, to round up this question, finding myself in 2025 expanding into areas that I didn't in the past, where I was constantly just heads down, focused on profit. And now I'm kind of enjoying this a little bit more. I'm continuing to stack crypto all around, especially with my ASIC miners. But yeah, really just 2025, been focusing on having fun with crypto.
Mr. Serpent X Tech, what's up, dude? Chump Change here. All right, so you asked for a update, basically what's going on with me and my channel over here. More or less, as you can see, I got shit everywhere. I am cleaning out, trying to upgrade to some either 40 series or 50 series cards. Just these old like 1660s. I have a whole bunch of them. I have 131 cards actually between here, and I've been doing a lot of work just reshrouding them, because I actually stripped them down to put them in octominers to save a little bit of wattage on the fan and to keep these fans pristine and everything pretty much clean for the resale value. So I just kind of blew this whole table off. I got to go through and finish this table. But yeah, I'm just going to be updating, or I guess trading in my cards, selling them to either people in the community that may want them, or I'm just going to ship them out on eBay or sell them locally, whatever the case may be. But I got a bunch of 6600 XTs. I got some For the Win EVGA 3s here, or For the Win 3 EVGA cards, right? They don't make these anymore. Pretty awesome. I kind of want to keep one of each, but I haven't really decided yet. So I'm going to get a whole price list together for these and see what they're worth. Then I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do with these octominers. I think I'm going to sell them as well. And yeah, I got a bunch of H110s that I need to get rid of. These guys right here, they're all dusty and disgusting. And I got a shit ton of frames. I have like at least 6 or 7 more different style frames, like Veta frames and other stuff, out in my shed there that I just built, the solar shed. But yeah, I just personally can't run this GPU stuff at home anymore. The electricity rate is just too high here. It's almost, it's upwards of like 30 cents, like 28 or something. So it's just too rough. Nothing that is able to be GPU mined is profitable at my rate, and I don't think it's going to be in the foreseeable future. So again, unfortunately, I'm just going to be upgrading, and maybe I'll get some AI stuff, but I need more condensed units that have basically more capabilities than what's here on the table. But that's really what I've been up to on the channel, man. Hopefully you guys are all staying safe and having a great day, and I will, yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.
How am I adapting to crypto mining in 2025? I quit. I moved to Chicago at the end of 2023. And my power cost went from about 8 cents to about 13 cents a kilowatt hour. And for crypto mining, that's huge, huge. Even just to pay the power bill, that's huge. But I've got some box miners and small, semi-efficient crypto miners around the house, heating rooms strategically in wintertime. Other than that, all of my ASICs are turned off. I pretty much sold 90% of my GPU farm, and it's not the same. Back in 2021, it was exciting to build a GPU mining rig and tinker with the hash rates and push it as far as you could and then dial it back a little bit and let it ride. Maybe chasing some other coin or chasing yield or profits or whatever. I was able to pay for the cost of power out of pocket. I can't do that here. My cost doubled. I went from paying $500-600 a month for a power bill to paying $1,200, $1,300, $1,500 for a power bill. I can't swing that. So I've learned to buy the coin, mostly Bitcoin. Where's the fun in taking a magic China box and just pointing it to a pool? Where's the fun in that? I've learned to enjoy what I do with technology. Like I'm working on a project right now where I've actually, you'll have to wait for the video to find out more. But I'm working on a project right now that I really enjoy, and it's really challenged me to learn about the process, to learn about the applications and the technology and how it works. And I miss that. That's what kept me in GPU mining. So for me, crypto mining in 2025 has become very industrialized, and I can't compete. So I quit, and that sucks because that was a lot of fun while it lasted. But on to the next thing.
What's going on, guys? Welcome, Rabid here. So how am I adjusting to crypto mining in 2025. So obviously you can see here all my rigs, well, most of my rigs are pretty much shut off. Now, it didn't help that I was sick for the previous 3 months prior to this, so I haven't really been keeping track of everything, but I have had everything shut off for the most part. So we got a crap ton of CPUs over here, obviously. Down here, we have a bunch of shut off stuff. Now, what I am currently mining is things that are profitable, which means if I am actually able to cover my power costs, then yes, I will mine with it and mine that coin. Now, if it's not profitable, you are better off buying the coin or buying the dip or whatever. But, you know, eventually, who has money to continue keep buying the coin? Eventually, you're going to run out of money. But anyway, coming in, so what I am currently mining right now is Dogecoin on the DG Home 1 right there. I'm also mining some Dogecoin on the Flu Miner. So these are the two of the most efficient home miners for this, and that's pretty much what you need is top efficiency miners to stay profitable. Also, decent power costs definitely helps there. But currently, yeah, that's all I'm mining right now. I also got some Aleo happening as well, but for the most part, all I'm mining is current profitable coins. That is Aleo on the Gold Shell ASIC, at least until Ice Rivers do start shipping. Then it'll be interesting to see how that hash rate does come. And for the other part here is Dogecoin. As for everything else, they are all turned off. All my CPU rigs are currently turned off. These are all 7950Xs here, doubled up. There's one on each side here, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8 rigs right here. And then these were single Warthog rigs, but again, 7950Xs mixed with 7950X3Ds as well. So I have a total of 10 of those going. But yeah, everything is off right now because the markets are looking very rough. All right, so that's pretty much all I got going on right now in 2025 is I have majority of my farm shut off. I got a few things running. They are ASICs, not really consumer grade stuff. So that's it. Hopefully this bull run does come in and everything goes to the moon and we can fire up everything. But for now, it's looking rough, guys.
Hey everybody, Greater Good Mining here. So my strategy for 2025 has been way different from previous years. In 2023, 2024, I was mining Caspa, like mining the crap out of Caspa, and I would overclock my machines. I wanted to get the yield. I wanted to get as much Caspa as I possibly could. But with the price of Caspa as it is, and the hash rate is still very high, I want to focus more on efficiency. I just did a video on the KSR Ultra that's sitting behind me on the shelf. I underclocked it, undervolted, and dropped the hash rate, and that helped me drop the wattage. So it's all about efficiency now. The other thing I'm doing is I'm hosting all of my big boy ASICs. You guys might have seen some of my older videos where I had everything running in my garage at home, and it just doesn't make any sense anymore because the profitability on Caspa is down. So I have all of my big boy miners hosted at Terra Hosting. I have 3 KS5Ls. I have an AL3. That's what I have currently hosted there. So I'd recommend finding a good hosting facility with a better electric rate if your home rate is too high, and that can help you stay profitable. And then you don't have to deal with all the headaches of mining with a big ASIC at home. If my electric rate was better, I'd love to have them here, but I just can't do it anymore. So the other thing I do is my graphics cards, I'm not full on mining with them anymore. I'm trying to build AI rigs out of my graphics cards. So I have 2 Tempe Snaptron AI nodes that are running graphics cards in them. And they don't have to be big graphics cards. They're just 3070s. And then I have a Guardian node and a Collector node all running on one machine. So it's very efficient. It's only like anywhere from 100 to like 135 watts, I think, on this single PC that's running like Proxmox. And shout out to Chain Savvy IO. They're the ones that set me up with this. And you can run Flux nodes with them. You can run Tempe nodes. You just call them up and they'll help you figure it out. Besides AI nodes, I'm also looking more into script miners because I like that you can mine multiple different coins with them all at once. Dogecoin, Litecoin, Bell's Coin, Lucky Coin. And a lot of those coins are just smaller coins. They're not going to be worth as much. But when you can mine so many all at once with like Mining Dutch, your machine becomes more profitable. And as the market stands, my script miners are very profitable. So right now, I have an AlphaPex DG Home 1, and I'm glad I got that machine because it's silent. I like that it's liquid cooled, and it's very efficient. So that is another one that I think is going to be more on my radar. If I can find some good deals on some script miners, that might be something else I will add to the arsenal this year. So those are like some of my plays right now. I'm also going to be getting into some D-pin stuff. I have some helium miners I'm going to repurpose. Anything that's low wattage that can earn me some passive income. That's kind of what I'm all about right now. Now, that doesn't mean I won't pick up any other ASICs if they become profitable again. The game can change very quickly, as you guys know. So just 2025, going to be a different year. It's going to be volatile. I'm hoping it pumps like we were thinking. Like a lot of people are hoping that alt season is coming around the corner. It's March 20th for reference right now. So Caspa's like 7.5 cents. Lithium's like 35 cents. So things are rough right now. They're looking pretty rough, but that doesn't mean they're going to stay that way. So stay on your toes and be flexible. Have a little dry powder maybe. And that's my strategy for 2025.
Yo, what's up, guys? Mike Red Fox. Thanks, Serpent, for putting together this video. So the question is, how have you adjusted to crypto mining conditions in 2025? Well, they're not great. And so I've definitely had to make some decisions about what I want to do going forward. And ultimately, that starts with selling hardware. I've been pretty stubborn. I've held onto a lot of GPUs over all the years just in hopes that something would happen, that it would be really profitable again. But besides a couple like blips along the way, it just hasn't been worth it. So while the GPU market is actually pretty hot right now, I'm going to offload more GPUs. I've sold some. I got to sell some more. I have a lot to work through, though I am going to keep some. I think I'm not ready yet for the 3070s and 3060 Ti's to go, but quite a bit of others will, and maybe hold on to anything else that has a life in AI compute going forward. Maybe those are good GPUs to hold on to for now. But anything else is going. And I've really been considering just ASICs. And you might be like, GPUs versus ASICs. You got to do GPUs, man. ASICs are bad. Like, it's all proof of work, man. It's all proof of work. And that's what I'm all about. And that's what Bitcoin is. And so you should be about it too, because proof of work is the thing. It's the true decentralization. It's how it all started. So if you have a GPU or CPU doing that, or you have a little mini BTC miner at home, I love all of you because you're supporting proof of work and decentralization. So anyway, with the money that I'm not spending on an electrical bill right now, I'm dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. I think I'm going to increase my size of my portfolio and some other coins. I'm sticking like the big guys. I think I'm burnt out on altcoins and chasing the maybes and what ifs, and I'm just going to play that slow growth that I did when I first got into cryptocurrency, and that turned out really well. And then I got, looking at all the new shiny things that could maybe make all this money, and I'm done. I'm toast. So recap: selling hardware, buying coin, keeping hardware. I don't know what I'm doing. Hopefully the next person in this video does.
What's up, guys? My name's Brandon, and also special thank you to EVGA for reaching out and also asking this question, because it is a good one, and I'm sure everybody's going to have a little bit different of a take, so I'm curious to see. But anyway, how have you adjusted to crypto mining conditions in 2025? So if you guys don't watch my channel, I used to be primarily a GPU miner in the beginning. That was like 2016, 2017 era. And I was GPU mining heavy all the way up until Ethereum left us high and dry. And then I was always just grasping for the next thing. In 2025, I have been changing gears. One of the big things that I've done is I have powered down most all of my GPU mining rigs. I do have currently right now 4 rigs running Warthog, and they're dual mining Ironfish at the same time, but that's almost like CPU / GPU mining because it utilizes both CPU and GPU. Other than that, I am not GPU mining anything else, so that's literally 4 CPUs and 4 graphics cards, a fraction of what I used to have at one time, which was at upwards of 80 to 90 graphics cards at any given time. But the one direction that I have shifted into and put more emphasis on is home ASIC mining. So home ASIC miners has never really been a big market in the past, but with 2025 and also going down to Florida at Mining Disrupt and meeting with a lot of these different manufacturers, they see that there is a need and also a want for residential home ASIC miners. So for example, your mini Doges, your Bidaxes, your DG1 Home, which is another just a Dogecoin home miner, Gold Shell's been doing it for years with the box series miners. Small stuff that you can plug in your house at 120 volts over here in the US. It's not gonna, be tripping the light breaker and that kind of thing, and they'll also be quiet. So Volk Miner now has a home miner. Flu Miner, those are home-based miners. They actually have another one coming out that's going to be a speaker, so really curious to see how that's going to work out. What was the other ones? There was actually quite a few companies that had home-based stuff, so that's the direction I'm going in. Also a little bit of the solo Bitcoin stuff, so I have some bit axes running. I have some of the Can-An Avalon series, the Nanos, and then also a Mini 3, which is technically another home miner as well. They're super low power, you get a little bit of hash rate, and then I'm trying to hit that elusive solo Bitcoin block, which I'll probably never do, but if I do, you'll know about it. So that's the way my mining journey has shifted for 2025. We're doing a little bit of GPU, CPU, almost like spec mining, and then primarily looking at home ASIC miners. Coming into the summertime, I'm not going to be heavy in running a bunch of stuff in my house, but I will be trying to scoop stuff up if this market stays bad for a significant amount of time and the price goes down on some of these home miners. I'd love to scoop them up at really good prices, so that way I'm ready for the winter time and essentially just try to heat my house with home ASIC miners. So that's the dream. That's the direction. We'll see how it plays out as time goes on. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate it. Again, thank you, Vega, and I'll pass it off. So adios.
Hey, Serpent Man, thanks for letting me record this bit for you and for your followers. So you asked me the question, how have I adjusted to crypto mining in 2025? Well, to be honest, I mean, it's been kind of status quo for me. I'm still continuing mining, whether that's with GPUs or ASIC miners or maybe phones a little bit, or maybe a little bit of AI as well. So over the past couple years, like, I've gotten into all this stuff, but I have to say, in terms of, profitability and, making money, making dollars, it's gonna be in these types of rigs, which I've been renting out on GPU platforms such as Salad. And I'm gonna be getting more into like enterprise grade hardware for AI, just basically renting out my GPUs. But I haven't completely, left GPU mining or anything. I'm still continuing to GPU mine because my electrical rate right now is at about 7.4 cents USD. So right now, I have mainly all 3070s on right now, and I do have another farm that's all mainly on as well. I've been basically mining like zealous on everything right now, just breaking even, or if not losing a couple cents, but I'm still willing to pay out of pocket to mine zealous. But that's been status quo for me for the past like couple months, I guess beginning of 2025. But it's the end of March of 2025, and I still have all my GPUs on, even though, GPU mining is dead. I know that, but it's not dead for anyone that has reasonably cheap electric, of course. But let's be real, how many residential miners out there have cheap electric? Other ways that I have adjusted more so over the past, month or so is swapping out miners that have been, not profitable. For ASIC mining, for me personally, I have been, adjusting into getting newer miners. Then in turn, the new miners are obviously more profitable than what I had before. So in terms of like the market conditions right now, profitability for ASIC miners, for me, I have been predominantly converting a lot of the earnings that I've been getting from these ASICs into USDT. And the reason why I've been doing that is because over the past like 3 or 4 years, even though I have, generally cheap electric, I've been mainly holding, right? I've been mainly mining and paying my electrical bill out of pocket for a lot of my, not only my GPU rigs, but a lot of my ASIC miners as well. Like I had a lot of Caspa miners, and we've seen Caspa go down quite a bit. So I'm not willing to sell my bags at a much lower price right now. So I have a lot of holdings that I am comfortable with right now. So what I'm doing now is everything that is profitable, I have been, converting that into USDT, and then basically that's just my, if I need to sell for cash, for bills, electricity and whatnot, that's what I'll take the money from. Because I don't want to take that from all the mining that I have basically done from mining and holding over the past like 3 to 4 years. So because YouTube is my full-time job, it's been quite down, you know, it's really not making much money. So even at my, you know, 7.4 cents electric, I'm able to at least profit a little bit from, not only from, not really much from GPU mining, let's be real, but mainly from my ASICs and from my like solid rigs and like vast rigs, which I'm gonna get eventually on. Those are making me money right now. So that is helping offset from what I have been basically, I guess, losing over the past couple months, especially on my Caspa miners, the lithium, all that stuff. But anyways, hopefully that explains as to what I'm doing right now, as of now. But I ain't stopping crypto mining. I'm still going on full-fledged. But of course, I'm getting into other forms of utilizing my hardware to make money. So thanks, Serpent. Actually, you know what? If you guys are all watching this right now on Serpent's channel, let's do a giveaway. All right, I want to give away this iPolo X1 with the Raspberry Pi 3 that it needs to function this, you know, ETH hash miner, okay? So just comment down below, how have you guys adjusted to the market, I guess, mining conditions of 2025? Let me know down below. Thanks, Serpent. Thanks so much, buddy. Back to you.
So as you can see, all your favorite content creators have different strategies, and one strategy for one person, including you, might not work for another. And so people have to adapt and adjust. And this is the ever-changing landscape of crypto mining. Whether it's GPU, FPGAs, ASICs, it doesn't matter. It's evolving and you have to adjust your setup or configuration to do so. Me personally, what I'm doing is during peak hours where I'm paying the most for electricity, most of my power-hungry or less efficient or profitable rigs are being turned off. We can do this with smart PDUs or ePDUs or even smart switches like the Samsung Smart Things or the TP-Link Casa switches if you're on a normal 110, 120 volt outlet, to where you can turn off a power supply, turn off a rig or a machine during certain times where you're getting charged the most, and then kick it back on maybe later in the evening or early morning where you can maximize your profitability of that setup or offset it with renewable resources, as we've seen with Chump Change and a number of your other favorite content creators. Me personally, I still have my GPUs. Yes, I downscaled some of it, but I have a good mix of ASICs, FPGA, well, only one FPGA now, and then GPUs. I'm going to run through my entire setup with you, but one solution or one strategy doesn't fit for everyone. Mining profitability has taken a hit as far as GPUs go. There are other profitable solutions out there or alternatives. You just have to choose what fits you. I'm going to focus on projects that I believe in, the devs, their mission, their goal, and just try to stack as much of that cryptocurrency. Not paying attention to the fiat, the dollar value, but paying attention to how much of that currency I'm actually earning, and then trying to stack up as much as I can before the next altcoin season, bull run, whatever you want to call it. It may be delayed, but eventually it will come. Either way, I want to hear from you down in the comment section below. Let's go look at my overall setup throughout the house. I hope you enjoyed hearing from some of your favorite content creators. Of course, my first system is my main computer system where I mine cryptocurrencies with the RX 9070 XT. Not a lot of cryptocurrencies available yet. Miners are still updating, or devs are still updating their miners. And then I CPU mine, but the 9800 X3D is not the best at that. However, this isn't my only rig, but I do use this on a regular basis, not only to mine crypto, but to play around with other alternatives, whether it's AI, compute, render, whatever it might be. Moving out to the living room, I have my NAS, or network attached storage, also farming Chia. That's what the hard drives are, as well as storing some of my videos, my 5900X CPU mining, my 3060 12 gig GPU mining, and then again, because of all the memory I have, playing around with different AI models and learning new things, ever expanding my knowledge and capability. But my living room NAS is serving me very well and will continue to mine various coin, farm Chia, and mine whatever GPU token I am capable of doing so. Moving over to my main rigs, users familiar with the channel will know that this grow tent back here is venting up into my attic, and then I am cycling that hot air out of the attic as quickly as possible with a solar powered fan. At the very top here we have a Octaminer 12 GPU frame, right? Chump Change had a lot of these. One GPU is missing, but this is a mix of 30 series, 1660 series, A2000s, and more. And then we have the AMD rig, which is a mix of 5700 XTs, 67, 68, and 6600 XTs. And right below that, we have another mixed rig from NVIDIA, everything from 1080 Ti's all the way up to the 3080. No 40 series in my GPU farm and no 50 series in my GPU farm, but I know a lot of people are upgrading to those because they want to. However, you again need to choose what fits your budget. Right next to it, Jazz miners. I love the Jazz miners. They're not as profitable, they're not as flashy as some of the other miners out there that are available, but I love these. The X4-Q has been serving me very well, and then the X16-Q over there to the right. Then we got little guys all around the house in my mess, which is the helium miners. I got one over here in one of my son's room. We got an RX0 in here. The other miner that was in there, the KS0 Ultra, was sold to a community member. Right next to that, one of my favorite miners, the BitX Gamma. Actually just got my hands on that, but not my first BitX. Matter of fact, my very first BitX finally gave up the ghost. You could see that chip there, or that resistor. Correct me if I'm wrong. Gave up the ghost and just died on me. So this BitX is down for the count, but it can still be utilized or repurposed. Maybe a community member wants that chip and can desolder or deball it and reball it on a different device. Hit me up if you want to do so. Right below my main desk, we got the Apollo 2. This is my full node, my Bitcoin full node, which I can mine directly to that. We've done a video on the channel showing you how to do that. I believe Boss Coin's coming out with one as well. We weren't able to get them on this collab project, but I love these things because not only can you mine Bitcoin through your own node, but you can also mine through the doctor's pool, one of my favorite pools to use. Next to that, we usually have my FPGA rig, but unfortunately, the FPGA is out of commission right now. It's working, it's just not profitable to mine with it, so it's just chilling. And you could see some of these older nerd miners, or excuse me, yeah, nerd miners that are just chilling, not doing anything right now. Some of them I had to reflash and get them back up and running. Over here we have another micro miner or nano miner. This is the Nerd Axe, one of my favorites as well, besides the BitAxes, followed by the Nano 3S from Canon, and then the original Nano 3. Love these things, and yes, that's a picture of Elvis down there. But these micro miners, 6 terahash, 400 gigahash, 500 gigahash, 1.2 terahash, all my favorites. Speaking of which, while some of you may know that I am in Florida, and it doesn't seem like Florida gets cold, it does here in North Florida. So we got the Mini 3 heater right over here, chilling in back, keeping my wife warm when she's chilling out back, enjoying the beautiful views. It's a nice little spot for nature and for me to go ahead and throw some steaks or pork chops on the grill. So keeping the wife warm while hashing away at 40 terahash or 38 terahash depending on the conditions. Here's that other helium miner, Finstra helium miner, sitting in my son's room, followed by the Gold Shell AE box mining a Leo. This is the most profitable small miner that I have in this entire house, which is quite unfortunate, powered by an HP server power supply. And then in the garage we got my big boys, two S19K Pros with Epic blockchain control boards sitting in immersion liquid. Yes, the color should not be like that, but you can watch my channel to know why. Temperature is a little bit warm because it is getting toasty here in North Florida. Next to it, the AlphaPex DG Home 1, one of my favorite script miners, efficient, water cooled, absolutely love the design, followed by a Gold Shell Mini Doge 3 right next to it, and the Ice River AL2 Lite. We had some issues with this. Support worked with me and we were able to get a control board replacement. If you're experiencing issues, check out the channel updates on that. And last but not least, this What's Miner. Unfortunately, it's not running at full tilt. One hash board is down, still need to fix it, but considering donating to another crypto content creator who's thinking of getting into the mining space. But that is all my hardware, not all of it running. My GPUs are certainly down right now during the peak electrical costs of the day, but my Bitcoin miners and some of my smaller home miners are still up and running, stacking as much as possible. But that's gonna do it for today's video. Thank you so much for sticking through it. I know it was a little bit longer, but I just wanted to get as many content creators that would want to join this collab with me. Let me know what your strategy is down in the comments section below, and do me a favor on the way out. Hit the like button, get subscribed, hit the notification bell to stay up to date, as well as check out additional links in the description that help support the channel and what we do here, and I greatly appreciate every single one of you. You all have yourself a wonderful day. Take care. I'll catch you next one.